Well, you've got, this is St. George from this tip to where this number 4 is. That's St. George, and this little curve part right here is Little St. George. The lighthouse used to be right here on this point. You can tell it's the farthest point right here down in the Gulf. And then St. Vincent, it's got fresh water.
Tell me again about St. Vincent.
St. Vincent's is big one. You can tell how big it is, massive compared to how skinny St. George Island is. Freshwater lakes and things on St. Vincent, where they more life. That even if you had houses over there, you could still have a lot of dense trees and a place to have a population. This is so skinny, there's no place for animals really to hide. Even Dog Island's got some thick part on the end. We don't have anything, we're just a little skinny island.
So can you point out the best fishing areas on the map?
Well, all up in here is Appalachia Bay. I mean, right here, and then East Bay up in here. This is the West Pass. There's a lot of big sharks, and sometimes you can catch kings and stuff like that. There's a lot of shoals out here, real shallow. I fish out here mostly. Let me get out this way a little bit. This is where I like to fish, out in the Gulf.
And what are you catching?
I catch snapper, grouper, cobia, king mackerels, mahi, wahoo.
And is this seasonal?
It is. It's about to be over. When you go on the Gulf, most of the Gulf is, there's nothing really living on it. You can go in the Gulf all day long and not catch anything. You have to have, for the most part, some kind of structure. Either live bottom, corals, holes in the bottom of the earth, or shipwrecks, airplanes, oil rigs, any kind of structure where fish can hide because of the dolphins. Things like that are really fast predators like barracudas, king mackerels, wahoos, things with a lot of teeth, sharks, dolphins. I mean, if you're in the open and there's a 500-pound lion, you don't have a chance. You're done. Now, if you got a tree or something to hide over or climb up, then at least you got a chance. So that's why the fish live where they can be protected. And you have to have those holes. I have 350 of them. And different ones actually hold different kinds of fish for some reason. I don't really have that good of an explanation for it. And some places have a lot of amberjack. Just certain wrecks have tons of amberjack. Then you go to one that has a lot of red snapper. They like shiny stuff, like airplanes, shiny boats, steel boats. For some reason, they really like that a lot. And I got a lot of live bottom holes where a lot of red grouper like to live. They don't really live around wrecks. They like the live bottom, which is like corals and fan holes.
You're not talking?
Yeah. The different fish, they have to be at least, really the minimum is about 60 feet. You can catch some occasionally in shallower water, especially shallow water grouper, but for the most part, these fish like 60 to 150 or 200 feet. So you have to run out at least 10 miles where I live at because it's such a shallow shelf. Very shallow from here to Tampa. That whole inlet of Florida is very shallow.
It's like the bay, which is
well, like if you're in Pensacola and you go out 10 miles, you can be at 120, 150 feet. If you go out 10 miles here, you're at 65 feet. So, and if you go out in Louisiana 10 miles, you may be at 300 feet. I mean, there's no telling. It just drops way down there instead of being a very long shelf like we have here. That's why this is a perfect red snapper breeding ground. All these red snapper rules, they shouldn't apply for this area because it's a snapper haven. There's 8 billion snappers out there, red snappers. I could catch enough snapper in 2 hours to fill this entire boat all the way to the top. I could do it. with just about 5 or 6 people and a lot of reeling. I could fill this whole boat up, no problem. All day, every day. I could go from spot to spot to spot and catch snappers until your arm falls off.
So you said that it's seasonal. So you said it's going to be getting cold.
Now the red snapper and, well, we have 4 kinds of snappers here. We have gray snappers, vermilion snappers, lane snappers, and red snappers. And we have 2 predominant kinds of groupers, which are red grouper and gag grouper for the most part. You can also catch scamp. Those fish live here all year round. Now then we have another category of pelagic fish, which includes king mackerel, cobias, triple tail, wahoo, and mahis for the most part. They come during the summertime. They go down to Mexico, the Bahamas, and stuff like that during the winter where it's warmer, and in the springtime they come back up. They just did a fall run, and the mahis usually come through in October, and you catch a lot of mahis in October. I love catching mahis because they jump and they're real pretty. They got green and yellow. It's really pretty. And wahoos are definitely my favorite. They're really hard to catch and they're very beautiful fish and they're really good to eat. And I love them. Good stuff. I use frozen dead bait like Spanish sardines and squid and sometimes hoagies and just frozen minnows, basically, for lack of a better term. And in the bay I catch pinfish and croakers and live bait, which I put in my live well in the back. Now, bait's not available in the bay like it is right now, and in the wintertime, you have to go off shore about 20 miles or stop right before you're going to catch your fishing hole on sand and catch live bait on the bottom using sabiki rods. They look like this right here. It has a weight on the bottom and it has multiple hooks. 1 just broke off, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can catch 5 at a time. By dropping it to the bottom and jigging it a little bit, you can catch your own bait. You know, it's just a light pole with light lines, just made for bait fishing. Okay, see where we are right here? There's the boat. There's the cut right there. We started here, we're going around this way. It's probably about 3 miles from here. There's actually a glass grouper that lives under this dock right here. It's a grouper about this big.
That lives where?
Underneath this dock.
Oh, And you said how big?
Probably like 150 pounds, 200 pounds.
Wow. And that's Little St. George. If you notice, the trees look a little burnt over there because there was a fire a couple of years ago that a lightning bolt started and it burned up about half the island. Wow. That was for bait, no?
No. I'm trying to make it some dinner. There's 2 kinds of mullet. There's regular mullet and there's island mullet. See, he's got some mullet in the net. See it moving? See him jumping? See that big mullet?
Yeah.
It's a whopper.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Look, he's got a ton of them in there. Look at that.
Typically, you don't see mullet on the menu, though.
No. Yeah, depends on where you go. Oh my gosh, look at that. He roped them. Oh. You see that? He has got a ton of whoppers. Oh my gosh.
Oh, they're big, yeah. I was thinking they were going to be like little...
No.
Oh, wow.
Those are monsters.